And hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Over 30, the podcast where we talk about movies, games, and everything pop culture. As always, I'm Jonathan, aka Worm. Here with me are the boys, David and T-Bud. How's it going, guys?
What's going on?
People? We're back.
We back.
And today we have a really fun guest, Calvin, aka Statue Fanatic. How's it going, Calvin?
How's it going, man? I finally found a show that actually fits me, man. Nerdy Over 30. How about that?
Yeah.
Score.
Yeah, when I heard the name last year when I was talking to you guys, I was like, that's where I want to be.
Good to have you.
And here we are. Fast forward.
Yeah. So for our viewers, we met Calvin last year by chance. David bought some extra fig pins and was selling them at New York Comic Con, and he met Calvin over eBay. And since Calvin was there, they just did a meetup, and yeah, we found out that we have a lot more in common than we thought. So
absolutely,
yes. And what a meetup, man! I was hesitant, to be honest. Like I was like, he was like, are you at Comic Con? I'm like, what? I started looking around me like, what?
Why? Yes.
Yes, I am.
Reminds you the scene from The Matrix, like, look to your left. All right.
Walk to your left, walk to your right.
Exactly.
Yeah, at first I was like, how did he know I was at Comic Con? And I'm like, duh, I just posted this.
Yeah, I was about to say, he just bought the pins.
Yeah, and I spent my whole morning in line at Fig Pen. And when I walked over to the bait booth, I said, that shit is not happening. Oh, excuse me, I don't know the language.
Oh,
No, please.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
I said, that's not happening. Not happening. Immediately got on eBay. I said, I know somebody's selling these things. Got on eBay. I'm like, yep, there you are. I know you're here. We got them.
Yeah, man. So we camped out for that.
Well, and then
Camped
also
out twice. After I sold it to you, I was like, I want it back. So I have it here, but yeah, awesome set for sure. It was, so for our listeners and watchers, it was a Astro Boy fake pin set that Comic-Con exclusive. Very dope. Do you have it over there?
I should have brought one out, man, so I can show
Oh,
you.
man, I should have done the same thing.
Don't worry. I think you guys have too big of a collections to be looking.
Yeah, please don't look over. Yeah,
look, I'm in one area. Like I would probably have to go upstairs, man. I don't know, man.
So Calvin, for people who have no clue, what do you do, and how do you fit into this whole thing?
This whole thing. Well, I do have like a real job and I do real stuff, you know.
Why?
I know, right? But this hobby thing, man, I'm a little bit older than most of the people that I meet in the hobby, but I have been collecting, man, almost 30 years, man. I have stuff that I've collected from, when Sideshow was just even getting started and they weren't even doing statues, I was collecting things. I've always been into comics, always been this nerdy guy, always just love stuff like this. And I don't know what it is, man. I don't know how I never became a hoarder because I love collecting stuff, but this is my passion more than anything. I mean, I love superheroes. I love all that stuff. And it's interesting because the YouTube thing was, dude, it's kind of like being in the closet. I was like, I had all of this stuff that I collect, but I mean, look at me, I'm older. And then I'm watching YouTube one day and I saw these grown men, playing with 1/6 scale figures. I'm like, what the hell am I afraid of? So I did my first, I did my first review of a statue. It was of the Darkness, an XM statue. It wasn't my first statue ever getting. It's the first one that was such epic scale. Like, I mean, I think I could do what these guys do, right? Man, I was so damn nervous. I sat there like, this is my first review. I was like, I go back and watch that. It's got so many views on it and so many kind comments from people. There's so many times I wanted to just delete that damn video. But yeah, man. And so that's kind of what I do. My passion mostly is around, I wouldn't say horror, but not gore horror, but horror, like classic horror stuff. I really like a lot of that type of stuff. Mythology type stuff. I'm really into that. So I'm pretty much you know, if it's something that I like, I'll collect it, even if I don't know the character or something. If I think the art's worth it, and just like buying a painting or something, if it's something that speaks to you, I'll invest in it. Brings 100%. Me to my it brings me to the point, man. With you, you unbox, David. You unbox Attack on Titan, that epic statue. That is one beautiful statue. I had the privilege of going to Japan, and there's some video out there. I got a chance to help unveil that statue with Caleb, the artist. When I saw you doing that, I was a little jealous, man. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little jealous because I don't have it. I don't own it. I love Caleb's work. I own a lot of his work, but that statue was so big, I had no idea where I was gonna put it.
Trust me, he also didn't know where he was putting it.
I had to do a lot of research. I had to do a lot of research on how to display that properly because it's a big piece, man.
It is. Like, well, check this out, man. Putting it together. Okay, so when you got it, you probably got a little booklet that helped you a little bit, right? Yeah. When we put it together in Japan with them, it was okay. The story was we were there at Wonderfest. And the parts of the statue hadn't even arrived yet. And it was almost showtime the evening before when we were putting it together. So they roll up with the statue, almost freshly painted. It's just a prototype where all of these little pieces that you had, nobody knew where they went, man. We had glue, we had this, we were making things fit. It was like, it was crazy, man. It was nuts. But then once the finished product came out, man, everybody just loved it, man. They fell in love with that statue.
Listen, man, and you did it without a booklet?
Without a booklet.
Listen,
it was without a booklet.
You did it with a booklet.
Our editor, Johnny, he was there when I was struggling. He was filming, and let me tell you, I tried to do it without the booklet. I thought I was hot shit. I said, you know what? I even said it while I was filming. I was like, here's the booklet, but who uses this? You know, I tossed it to the side, and then fast forward a little bit, you see me holding the booklet, looking at the, and I was like, yeah, admittedly, I should have looked at the booklet to begin with because there's a monstrous amount of pieces.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece. Caleb is probably one of my favorite artists. I first became introduced to him. He did a piece called The Bat King, and it was his mythological take on Batman as a Viking. And I did a review on it. The cape span on that thing is 42 inches. Wow. So I had to find a place to actually do the review. So I did it and I posted it. And then Caleb reached out to me because in the video I said, I hope I'm saying his name right, which was Caleb Nefson. And then he reached out to me. He goes, great review, man. You said my name right. And so fast forward, it was just such a privilege to get to interview him in Japan, spend time with him. We had a blast. We were there for about 4 or 5 days. We had the time of our lives. So his work, man, if you look at anything else he's doing, follow him, like on art, I guess his ArtStation. Follow him on Instagram, man. Some of the work that he does is amazing. He has a Norse god line that he's working on, and Thor is the first piece that's coming out, and I have that on pre-order.
Wow, you got to send me the link to that Thor.
Yeah,
I gotta see that. That's probably crazy. But I mean, so how did you get to that point where you got to be there for the reveal? Like,
yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, who did you talk to?
Well, so I'm guessing obviously when you started this whole YouTube journey, you started this. It was just on your own, didn't know nobody, and then slowly as you gain traction, things started happening.
I wanted to go to Japan.
So let's
I ended up in Japan, right? Well, so as a result of this, not only I ended up in Japan, I ended up at San Diego Comic-Con, I ended up at all these places that I'd always dreamed of going when I was much younger. But as a result of this, I ended up getting to work with, companies like hang out with Sideshow and stuff like that. But the way it happened is there's a few of us. You may have heard of the crew. They call MCE. We all kind of started around the same time. There's George, there's Seth, and myself. There's Ralph, who he has an IG channel called No More Mutant. He has 500,000 followers. Wow. So all of us started collaborating with each other. And I brought a certain flavor to a show we were doing called That Geek Show. George, Seth was irreverent. He was that guy. And so together we just started building this thing, and we would get reached out to by, certain companies or whatever, and they would send you things. And I realized that if you open the lines of communication and start talking to these companies, for them, it's kind of like free press to a degree, you know, if you're gonna, you know, review some of their stuff. And so as that grew, I don't have a large channel compared to some of the other guys because there's only like 17,000 people that follow me. But like I said, Ralph has 500,000 people on Instagram. George has 3 outlets, you know, at 30,000, you know, and I think like 50,000 on Instagram. But the thing about it is when you start collaborating with people, a lot of magic starts to happen. Because you can't do it all by yourself, man. You've got to find a community to get involved in and get connected to. So that's kind of how that happened. And so George had gone to Japan the year prior with Figurama, the company that produced Attack on Titan statue. He had gone there. And then the very next year, they were invited back. And so I got to get invited back with them that year to help, you know, promote the reveal of Attack on Titan and all of that kind of stuff. I ended up actually buying the year before that, Devil versus Amen. I know you've probably seen that statue.
Oh yeah, man, I missed out on that, man. I was so pissed because like, I didn't know about the company that early on, unfortunately, but and they just actually released Elite Bust. Well, the pre-orders for that, those are nice.
Same artist. Caleb Neffs did Devil Man versus Amen. Yeah, he's the same artist that did that.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
So, yeah, same artist.
Makes sense.
So that's kind of how it started. And now, and I found like 3 years ago, I started collecting fig pens, another obsession. And some of the same stuff happened. And I started communicating with some of the people in the company. They kind of liked some of the things that I was doing with their stuff. We opened the channel of communication. And so now I've been kind of like working really closely with them with a lot of different things. And hopefully there's some things in the works that going forward, you know, you might see me hanging out with them quite a bit now. So that's pretty exciting too.
That is exciting, man. That's freaking awesome that, you know, you get to do your passion, like collecting, but you get, you know, you get first dibs on things. Like,
you know, that's kind of like a misnomer. The first dib thing, nah. Sometimes, like, you have to work just as hard to get some
second dib.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to work just as hard because I know that when the statue, like I told you, that Caleb is doing, I think is Hero. I'm trying to think of the name of the company that's producing it. And I'll give it to you guys, and you after the show you can put it in the notes or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I reached out to them and asked, you know, all they can say is no. I said, hey, how about sending me a prototype so I can review? They said yes, so I'm waiting for that to get here. All they can say is no.
Yeah, I mean, why didn't you do that for Attack on Titan?
George did that on Attack on Titan. He actually did. George got it. He did that. I actually didn't want to put that together because I just had that bad experience. I didn't have a desire to put that together.
I don't blame you, man. Like that was...
Yeah, those things are crazy. Dave, what was the one that I was there with you for the unboxing? Not the Attack on the Titans, but the other one. I forgot which one that was. That was crazy too.
What was the first one?
The first one.
What was the first one again? I don't even remember.
Oh, what was the first one? I don't even remember.
I remember it was big. Very big.
It was from Figurama. It was because I did Trigon as well. I did that. I have that statue from Figurama too.
Right.
But yeah.
Wait,
my point is, it was a lot of.
I have the Trigon. That one is dope. Yeah. That's one of my favorite. You can kind of see the corner of it right there, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Trigon dope. I mean, we can go on forever on what we have.
Right? Hellsing. Another one they did is great though. Is Hellsing.
Oh man, another one that I missed on, man.
You got to check out the video. I did a video of it, man. I did get that one, and I'm out of room. I don't have room, man. Like right over here, I got this life-size bust of Black Panther. I'm gonna have to like.
I saw that, man. I saw that. That's amazing. That Black Panther head bust. And I'm not normally a fan of head busts, but that one is a good one.
The only one I own. That's the only one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah, it's the only one. I never thought I'd collect busts, but that's the only one I own.
No, that one's nice. And I don't know if you ever seen the Venom one. That one's really nice.
I saw it. at San Diego. You're talking about the one that Sideshow put out, right?
Yeah.
The latest one. Yeah, I saw that at San Diego. New York in October, right before COVID. They had it on display there.
Right.
Huge.
That was nice. The tongue, like the details, like crazy. But okay, let's go back in time. What was the first thing that you purchased and you were like, you know what, this is for me? I gotta collect. I know this is going way back.
Wow. Don't go way back.
Oh yeah, that's way back. Trust me, that's way back.
Yeah. I mean,
because it wasn't really even statues. Because the first statue I got probably was from an artist, Claiborne Moore, during the time when Randy Boeing was doing statues. A statue of Lady Death, but before that,
I think I know which one you're talking about, the Lady Death statue.
Lady Death, and there was Witchblade, all about 12 inches tall, resin statues. That was the first resin statues I started collecting, and that was back in '97. But before that, I think I collected more like Toy Biz action figures. That type of stuff. That was a big deal. And a lot of Universal Monster stuff from back in the day. Wow. Shoot, I used to collect the Burger King stuff that came out,
man, those are valuable though.
Yeah. So it goes way back, man, I guess, when as a kid,
I don't think people that don't collect don't understand that when you are a collector, it's something you have done since you're like, it is just ingrained in you to collect stuff since you were a little kid.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was just looking in the cabinet. This is weird. I have a set of Disney glasses that Burger King produced almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
Still in the packet.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I had those. I know exactly which ones you're talking about.
Like I saw that they're like in the back of my cabinet, still in the little boxes that they came in. And I'm like, wow, I've had this thing for 30 years until my age here.
So when did you start keeping things in the box? Because I know, you go through that transition where you're playing with it and then you realize, oh crap.
Right. That I still struggle with that because I don't like in-box collecting as much. This is one of the reasons why I've never really gotten into pops. Yeah. Is because the value is way too tied into how well the piece of cardboard is kept. So that to me isn't a whole lot of fun to collect. But I mean, like comics, yes, getting a slab comic key issue, keep it in pristine condition because paper, that whole thing. I get that. But a lot of the things like that, I still struggle with the inbox, out of box. So I buy stuff. And if my first intention in buying it is to figure out how I can display it and enjoy it. Same. At the end of my videos, I always say something like, collect what you like, not the hype, because when people start getting into the hobby, because they think it's some type of investment, they'll always end up disappointed. But when you start collecting things that you love, just simply because you love those things, whether they go up or down in value, you're still going to love them. So the inbox thing for me has never been a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's funny for me. It was a big deal when I first started collecting because I had like a moment. I forgot it was a Star Wars figure though, and back
was it the Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah. Where I always tell you about this one, man.
No, I actually remember when that happened. Well, we've all been friends.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can tell the story, David.
Yeah, so I had an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure in the box sealed, and I had it sealed for a while. And one day I was just like, you know what, I want to play with this toy. And my dummy, I ripped it open. I started playing. Then this one worm tells me basically what I destroyed, which was something that was very valuable. I actually have it on display right now, but
you're still enjoying it, right? You're still enjoying it.
I have it on display, but I just, that one could have stayed in the box, and I would have still enjoyed it.
Because I think we all went through that phase where you're going to collect. You're going to get one to open and one to
take
out. That gets pretty expensive, man.
It does. I started doing that at the point.
Pass on that.
Yeah,
I just recently got into opening the pops. David is the one that talked. Open the pops. Look at them. They're fun.
And the thing with So going back to Funko Pops, like the thing with the Funko Pops, you can reseal them so easily, and it'll look like it never was open. I mean,
yeah, but I've seen some people, man, they get pretty like the magnifying glass. You see the fibers are coming from the edge of the box, and it's like that's crazy. Like,
yeah, there's some crazy pop collectors.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm out of that. One of the reasons why I love fig pens so much is the value of fig pens is not tied into keeping them in the packaging at all, in any way, shape, or form. Last October, they had their first their con. It was at the Fig Pen Warehouse in California. They called it Fig Pen Warehouse Awesome Party. I got a chance to go there, help them set up, do all that kind of crazy stuff, man. And it was so successful. Since so many fans come out with lanyards with their pens on them and the trading and it was just epic. And none of the, oh, don't touch it, you know. Yeah. We even had an after party somewhere. I don't remember where because there was other things involved that could cause you to forget some moments. But we had an after party where people had tables set up and they were trading with each other. It was really cool, man. It's pretty cool.
And for our listeners and viewers that don't know what Fig Pen is, did you want to give like a brief like, yeah?
I've got fig pens everywhere. You know what?
I know that wasn't an issue.
I'm gonna do some of the latest ones.
Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. I loved your videos. With the basketball ones.
So these are the basketball chase fig pens. There's a standard version of them, and then for every one that they've released, they also released the chase with a very unique way of getting those chases. But basically what fig pen is, it I guess you could say it's an art form pretty much, because when you look at these things and the way that they display, the packaging is like amazing. There's just so many cool things about collecting it. But what's really cool is that I can open this. I can take this out. I can put it on my lapel, my lanyard. I can enjoy it. And then I could put it back and display it. And a lot of collectors, they like to display them like this. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Love those.
Yeah, the basketball
one video where you had them all lined up. So awesome.
Yeah, the basketball ones though, this is the first time they've done that. How many of you guys collect chase figures and other things that figures like Pops, and they have chases that come with those figures,
of course,
right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So when you go into the store to find them, who do you think has first dibs on those things?
Oh, the people that work there, of course.
Exactly. GameStop, the people that work there. So FigPen decided that they were going to get in the game of trying to make that a bit more fair. So what happens is now every Monday is chase day for FigPen. In the app, if you own the actual pen, not the chase pen, if you own that pen, in the app, there's a little indicator that you touch, and it flips the card and it tells you if you want to chase or not, or if you've won the opportunity to buy the chase. Completely fair. They like, for example, made 1,000 of each of the basketball players that they put out. And so every Monday is Chase Monday. Now they are releasing some My Hero Academia figures. The same thing with the chases. You'll be able to do it that way so they don't send them to the stores. They allow all of the real fans who collect them to actually have a chance of getting a pretty rare chase. So I think that was
that's an amazing idea, and I wish it was implemented into, like, for example, Funko Pops.
Right.
Because I mean, Funko Pops, people will. There's some diehard and borderline insane collectors out there that will overnight, like they'll stay from like this time right now till tomorrow just to get the maybe 3 chase pops that are in that store.
Crazy.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Which is crazy. The same thing, like at Target. I mean, they'll stand outside the store. And I'm not going to say that I wasn't one of them, but
I did it before.
Oh, don't worry. We've all been there.
And you're waiting to get in, and you got these guys, girls, whoever that work there, and they know they're making your life difficult because they have all the power. So did you guys get these in? Well, I don't know. Let me go check in the back.
They're very.
Let me go check for you while in the
back. Yeah, you jerk. You know you have it. And then they'll come out with one. Like, okay, can I get one for my friend? Because sometimes that's legit, no, we're only going to give you one at a time. That's our rule. Like, you're lying. You didn't have that rule.
Yeah, it's all that power, man.
I actually used to work for Kid Robot, and I know exactly that. We had a lot of workers that would do stuff like that, and I had a pretty loyal group of customers because I would always help everyone out. So, but I used to hate it when we had some workers that they would literally, whenever they would take all the chases out of the boxes, I'm like, what are you guys doing? That's crazy. Like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah. So I really like what Figpen did, man. If you're a fan of their stuff and you want to have a chance, you got a fair shot.
That's cool. Yeah.
That is
That's
awesome.
man.
That is definitely a great way. Now, me and David have only occasionally we'll get fig pins, but we've tried to stay away from it so we don't go more broke than we already are.
Going a black hole of fig pins.
We're at a point where we're like choosing our battles. Like, I mean, we collect me and T-Bud, we collect movies.
Yeah.
We all collect. Well, me and T-Bud collect posters. I mean, you can kind of see our background. Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Me and Worm, we collect figures, statues. Well, Worm is going to start.
He's totally gotten me into the whole statue thing. Hopefully, don't worry. Good thing is
Have you gotten your first
my first big one? No, I've got a little bit more into the Sideshow and Hot Toys.
I see that, which I love in the background there.
Figures and stuff like that, but there's a couple big statues that I've been looking at, and he's definitely been like, just do it, man, just do it. There's payment plans, do it.
I'm a terrible
What are you looking at? If you're gonna pick one up, what are you looking to get?
I want the Persona 5 Joker figure. What was the company that did it, David?
It's it's not First 4. Think of an overpriced brand.
Wait, are you talking about Iron Studio?
No.
Overpriced brand.
Joe, describe the statue
T-Bud,
again.
you know what, T-Bud, you know this brand. I showed you their stuff before, and you're like, holy crap, they're expensive.
Oh,
XM?
No.
Good Lord, who is it? We got Prime One Studio.
Prime One.
Okay. Yeah. You're talking about getting a third scale. A third scale?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Boys.
I wasn't even thinking that big. I
fell in love with that Joker, and I was like, maybe I should just bite the bullet because I've downsized a lot.
Yeah,
I used to collect all the Hasbro Star Wars figures, and that became too much. So I started selling stuff and just doing more statues. So I was like, maybe I should just invest in some big statues. So yeah, I figured I'll try and go big or go home if I invest.
Yeah. I only own 1/3 scale statue. I own the Batman Who Laughs, and that's from Prime One.
Wow, yeah.
But
I love that one.
You gotta show me. Did you do an episode on that?
I did a review of it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I gotta see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've got one life-size bust, 1/3 scale. That's it with the big boys. Like, yeah.
So that's your biggest collectible, you would say?
The half-size Black Panther and the 3rd scale, but like with Figurama, even though they call it quarter scale statues, and you think about Hellsing, how big the base and everything is, it occupies pretty much a 3rd scale space of room.
Yeah, very misleading. Yeah. I learned that the hard way.
And do you also do comics as well?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read comics now. I read mostly digital. I don't buy a whole lot of comics anymore. The only comics that I pursue are probably, like you might see a couple back there, that are key issues of things that I like. Like I've got the first appearance. I'm very proud of that one. I should have brought it over. I can see it down. I got the first appearance of Black Panther Slab. Nice. It's a 6.0. Wow. It's really awesome. But I collect key issues, but not a whole lot. I'm not like down that rabbit hole. It's got to be something that really, really resonates with me that I buy that. Those can get pretty pricey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I used to be a every issue collector, and it got too much, and I stopped. And now, if I do get anything, it's just key issues of things that I want.
Yeah, or the economical way. Like I just got the Moon Knight omnibus, and with the whole series, or I wait till the story arc is finished and get the paperback version of it to read it if I want to read it in that format. But going, those Wednesdays, I remember, you know, man, Wednesday day comic. I had a subscription at 3 different comic book stores years ago.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Speaking of Wednesday, man. Moon Knight is this Wednesday. Oh shit!
The 30th. That's right, Moon Knight.
Oh shit!
Wow. Moon Knight is this Thursday. I mean, it's up 30th, which is what, 2 days away?
Damn.
Yeah, 2 days away.
Damn, I know I'm wearing a long sleeve, but I got goosebumps. I don't wear a long sleeve.
Damn, yo, we slacking. No, we're definitely watching that for sure.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I actually think I still have my box at Midtown Comics.
Oh, Midtown in New York. Midtown.
Yeah.
I went there once, man. I think they got 2 stores. You guys got 2 stores.
Yeah. No, we have 3 stores.
Oh,
we
wow.
have 3.
I don't know which one I went to, but it was big.
You probably went to the main one, which is by Times Square.
Yeah, it goes upstairs. There's all these statues upstairs, and
then there's one by Grand Central, and then there's one in that's the Wall Street one by Fulton.
All the way.
Yeah, there's 3 Midtown comic locations.
I actually don't remember being at the third. Oh yeah, I was. I was.
That's the time. Oh no, we didn't go together.
No, but I went. But,
all of you guys are friends in real life, right? I mean, you guys know each other, right?
Yeah, so me, David, and T-Bud have all been friends since middle school.
Yeah. Oh my god!
So we've all known each other for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Nerdy over 12, nerdy over 20.
So who's gonna be the first nerd over 40?
Oh, that would be me.
Yeah, that's gonna be David.
By a couple of months.
I'm gonna have to kick him out after that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. You don't look it. That's for sure.
I appreciate that, man. I'm trying to stay young. You know, age of the mentality. That's what I like to
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the good thing was that we were lucky enough as kids to have friends that were also into this type of stuff, so we weren't as afraid to hide it. I mean, we all went through our little periods where we thought we were too cool and hid it a little bit, but luckily we had a good group of friends where we were all into the same things.
Yeah, we're good.
And you know, I mean, collecting and stuff like that has been more openly spoken about now. Like it's not something that you have to shy away from discussing because a lot more people nowadays anyways, they can relate to it, you know. We're in a world where, you know, like Comic-Con is considered cool now, like, you know.
Right. So, you know, with the MCU movies and DC movies, especially MCU, you go to the gym and you see these guys that have these shirts on or whatever, you know, Captain America, and these are the same guys that would have beat us up, you know. Now they're the cool guys.
Yeah. It's so bizarre, man. Like even, you know, watching anime was frowned upon
for so long.
Yeah, I like people would always tell me, "You still watch anime? You're a grown man. You need to grow up." Now those same people are watching anime with me. It's crazy, man. But I mean, it's good. It's a good change, though. I welcome it. You know, I'm not going to bash the people that, you know, wag and hop now. I want it to grow. You know, this community. I mean, it's great.
So how'd you feel? So how'd you feel, Calvin, when that transition happened from it being you being a nerd to being mainstream and a cool thing?
Well, I don't even realize when it happened. It just is now. I mean, I remember 2016 was the first time I saw the YouTube stuff, and I'm like, these grown men are talking about toys on YouTube. Yeah. Even I had to step back and go, I looked around my room. I'm like, I got a lot of stuff. I can talk about a lot of stuff. So that's probably the mature, I guess the evolution of social media has made it a little bit more, has made it a lot more acceptable because you get to post anonymously, you know, pictures you love, things you love, all that kind of stuff. And then you get to, on social media, even though it can have its negative sides, you get to form like-minded groups of people. And you find out that there's a ton of them out there. Like you can go to a Marvel group or to a statue collecting group, and, you know, there's 10,000 people in this group. My favorite sci-fi movie is franchise is the Planet of the Apes, going back to 1968. I would never like tell people like I like the Planet of the Apes, like and but now, I mean, I'm in a really active group on YouTube that I see some vintage, not YouTube, on Facebook, some vintage Planet of the Apes stuff that I think is just so damn cool. And before, I never would have been. In fact, I'm going to do a video of all of like my old Planet of the Apes stuff.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy how like unboxing is a thing now. If you think about it, like,
crazy.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's surreal to me. Like, wait, we're watching somebody open something that we can do ourselves. Like, if you really think about it, like, it sounds stupid, but
I find it to be one of the most relaxing things ever. It's also great if you're questioning about buying something. It's like, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should get this. Go see somebody's unboxing. You guys saying that this, I don't know if you guys ever played this NES game. Right here, Holy.
I saw you.
I just watched your video today. Yeah.
So that was an unboxing thing, and I'm not a fan of unboxings, and I'm like, why am I doing this unboxing again? But like you said, there's just something about it, I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's bizarre, man. Like, I have a daughter, and she, we bought her this toy that she saw off of YouTube, right? And we're thinking she's gonna play with it, but she had it next to her watching somebody play with it.
Smart.
Yeah. Smart.
We're just like, what?
Yeah.
But
like, you can open it.
Yeah. It's just, that's the world we live in, though. I mean, it's weird, but
good times. Good times.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So
go ahead, Mark.
So
no, go ahead. I
mean, David always cut each other off.
So
when did you, I guess you started doing your YouTube channel and for fun and stuff, and when did you realize, oh man, I can do something with this? Like, this is actually this is something that I can have fun and people are starting to watch.
Yeah, that's when it actually got scary. In the beginning, it was just fun, and I was nervous, but then it got scary because you start really caring about what you put out in the world.
Yeah.
You start caring about how you present yourself. You start caring about a lot of things that initially I didn't give a shit about. I was just nervous to do it, but I guess it's just, I like this. I like talking about it. This with you guys. There is a energy that comes with being able to collaborate and talk about this stuff. It's just, I'm here. I'm gonna get off here tonight or whatever, or I do a show, and then I've got my other friends, and I'm like, I can't even talk to them about what I just got to doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, yeah, that's cool, Calvin. Yeah, cool. Hey, cool. We just did this. I'm like, you guys suck, man.
Whatever. Just watch your videos. Whatever.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think I can't say when it started changing. I guess I've never looked at it as a way that I'm going to get rich or make a lot of money.
For sure, not that, but when you saw that it was picking up traction, and now you're like, oh, now I have kind of a voice.
A voice, yeah.
A following to do. A calling.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like that part of it. I like the that's fun. That's to share something. You said you're turning 40 soon.
Well, not that soon. But,
well, it could be next year, in a couple of years. I don't know, but that's soon in my terms because I wanted to slow down quick. But it's always cool, or it feels really cool to me to stay connected to something that makes you feel young too.
Right.
I think there's this little child in all of us that society forces us to make grow up. And I think when we do that, we lose a whole lot. I think there's 100%. Something about us as human beings that should always experience play, that we should always experience that playfulness about our soul, our nature. When we start to get so serious, I think that's when the wrinkles start to get deeper. I think that's when so many things start to happen, because part of our health is so tied to our mentality. And this, I think, through the pandemic for me, kept me sane, so I kind of look at it that way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, and that goes back to what I said earlier. Age is a mindset, you know. You know, you are how you act.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's part of the reason why I collect. To be honest, like, it makes me feel, you know, like a kid.
Like a kid.
I'm like it feels like Christmas every time I get a gift or something, you know.
Thank you.
So true.
Yeah, it's like you're gifting yourself. So I love it, man.
Yeah, there's so many adult things. There's so many adult things you could do, man. There's not enough of those. Hey, if you got one moment to say, hey, this is really cool, do it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Totally. Now, I mean, I know you collect and stuff, but I mean, I know you watch movies too.
I love movies. I am a big movie buff, especially huge movie buff.
So and you know, sorry to if I kind of catch you up. I mean, like, catch you like stuttering.
Let's get into
we always do this with some of our guests, and you happen to be one of them. Top 5 movies.
You guys are gonna like probably not think, because my top 5 movies. Let's tell my age. It probably won't even fall in the lines of what you're thinking. The top 5 movie, It's a Wonderful Life. That movie has an incredible meaning to me. Citizen Kane is another one that I find
that's the movies of movies.
Great movie.
Yeah, that I find to be fascinating. Of course, the original Star Wars saga, which is out of order. That growing up was really meaningful.
But wait, you got to pick one Star Wars movie.
It's probably going to be A New Hope, only because that's what introduced me to it.
Nice.
So it's kind of hard for me to say that one's better than the other in that regard, but that's what kicked it off, and you've got to give props to that. So we'll pick one. So that's 3 movies right there.
Yeah.
If I were to pick 2 more movies that I think I really enjoy, oh wow, there's so many.
This is where we catch people.
It's always the last 2. It's always the last 2.
It's always the last 2. Okay. Because there's so many.
Let
me look around. Probably let's get current then. Black Panther was just life altering for me to watch that movie, to watch people, to see. You know, if we're going to go there, to see what I saw on screen in terms of diversity, and to see a character that people probably thought could not be, you know, marketable, come through in that regard. So it probably was that, and then Endgame. I'll just say it.
So it's funny you mentioned Black Panther, but
yeah,
I love those
coincidence
mugs.
there.
Man, I miss those mugs, Dave. Bro, I miss those mugs.
If I were to talk movies, that would be like the top 5 movies. And the movie that I've probably seen the most in my entire life, I have seen It's a Wonderful Life more times than I can count. And I don't know what it is about the movie, but I love that movie, that idea of saying that every one of us, if we were not here, would leave such a hole that would be unimaginable for some people, that, you know, that idea that your presence here was not by mistake.
So true.
That movie just means so much to me.
No, it's a very meaningful movie. Absolutely.
And we also love it when people give answers like that instead of the everyday answers.
Yeah. I'm really glad, honestly, that you didn't give, like, you know, generic blockbuster hit names or something.
God.
So,
you did say Endgame, the blockbusters of all blockbusters.
Endgame, only because that's
a different story.
That ended an era. That ended an era, I guess.
Years,
I would say that, because that was if we talk about this fandom, that was one of those things that brought all of us together no matter what. I mean, we were all waiting to see that story come to an end, and to see how that was going to happen. So
100%. And I mean,
honestly, Marvel still gets me giddy. I mean, every freaking Marvel movie now is like, you know, like every
and it's
Marvel.
crazy what the MCU created, though. Like, I mean, I don't remember the last time movie actually, you know, sold out on release, like at midnight, you know?
Right.
You know, like MCU, I feel like started that. Am I wrong? I don't know.
They had a formula, though. I mean, they had a plan, I think a blueprint from the time they released the first movie, and Kevin Feige and those guys, they're just geniuses when it comes to tapping into something. Like my daughter, for example, doesn't know anything at all about superheroes, comics, or whatever, but she's watched Black Panther a dozen times.
Yes.
that company, I don't know, man. That team of people, they figured something out.
They literally knew what they wanted since Iron Man. Like David, I still send you videos of like movies like from 10 years ago. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so like they
Like
drop
Easter
a lot of
eggs.
Easter eggs in older movies that we're just now finding out about now, which is insane. Like the genius making these movies is crazy.
Unreal.
Like
it's unreal.
Are any of you guys watching Superman and Lois right now?
Actually,
no. Is it worth it?
My God, I think that show, and I'm a Marvel guy for the most part. I think it's better than most of the Disney Plus movies that have come out. That's how good I think it is. Yeah, wow. that show, and there's one of the reasons why I probably never really liked DC as much as I like Marvel, because I didn't identify with the characters as much as I identify with the Marvel characters. These guys, and you've heard other people say it. I mean, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, these are gods. No one can really experience what they're experiencing. And then you go over to the Marvel side when you've got a teenager like Spider-Man going through puberty, and you've got all of these other flawed characters with anger issues and need to be on a therapist's couch and all of that. You get it. Yeah. But this particular show with Superman and Lois, I am just blown away by it, man. They're in the second season now, and it is probably one of the best made for television superhero movies I think are out there.
Awesome. I heard it's grounded. It's like a grounded story and stuff like
that. Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. And forgive me if you guys keep hearing that beeping stuff going on, because
I was wondering if that was, I thought that was Worm.
No, that is, I'm on a Mac, so it's tied to my phone, and so the messages come through. I think I silenced it.
No, that's all right.
It was in my head. Okay. I don't know. I thought it was in my head.
No, I was like looking at Worm, like
I know he kept eyeing me, and then I was looking around. I was like, that's why I was like texting my fiance. I was like, please tell me that sound's not coming from your thing.
No, I think I turned it off. I think I did.
Okay, cool. But okay.
You're also a really big Spawn fan. I watched your Spawn collection episode.
Spawn video was insanity.
Oh yeah,
holy shit!
We want to talk about that Batman Spawn collab figure that you have. That is crazy.
Have you read the comic? Did you ever know about that?
I knew about the comic. I never got to read the comic.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent story too, man. And the collaboration between the two, I thought it was a really genius idea. I wish they had carried it on more, but yeah, Spawn, that's where the adult collecting started for me. When the figures, when I grew up and started looking at figures and collecting differently than I did years prior to that, because no one had done what Todd McFarlane did with the detail of the action figures and all of that stuff. I mean, he just took it to a whole nother level. So I started upping my game and spending more money, and I didn't stop collecting Toy Biz things and started collecting stuff like that.
Well, it's crazy because I think McFarlane was the first company to really make edgy adult toys, which was crazy, with the crazy detail. Yeah. Well, more adult-like toys. You know what I'm saying?
I was like,
as I see that, as I hear
figurines.
We are talking about those other things, people. Yes.
Figurines, man.
The wording.
Adult action figures.
Yeah. Spawn is I have the largest collection of any one franchise is probably Spawn, and I did that video. That's not all of my Spawn stuff. I just
man, that setup, the display that you put on was impressive, man. I was just like, holy crap, he got like a
Spawn video was nuts. I was like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, man, I had to like decide what in the world am I gonna actually show versus what I'm not gonna show, because I have the clamshell toys and stuff. They're all like, put away and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not bringing all that stuff out. And then after that would be, in terms of franchises, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Why Nightmare Before Christmas, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, wow. I think it's one of the best animated stop movies ever made. Most underrated story told. And Jack and Sally, and oh my God, that movie.
It began with stop motion, I think, kind of like.
Yeah, and Tim Burton, man, just coming out for the Batman thing and going into that, his style is so stylized.
It fit 100%.
Yeah, I absolutely freaking love it, man. It's freaking awesome.
To be honest, I watch that like at least once a year. Like my daughter loves it.
Yeah.
Like Yeah, it's great. It's timeless in my opinion.
Yeah, and some G-Wiz information about that. The movie, the action figures and things didn't do very well because initially Disney wouldn't even allow Miramax to market it under the Disney title because they thought it was too much for kids to see Santa get, I guess, sadistically tortured or whatever.
Yeah, it was dark. Yeah,
it was dark. So Disney distanced itself from it, even though they bankrolled the show. It wasn't until later that they started realizing the merchandising powerhouse that would become, and the cult following. Now they proudly put their name on it. It's in every Disney store. I'm surprised there's not a Disney theme park behind it.
I mean, they change the Haunted Mansion every year to The Nightmare Before Christmas around that time.
Yeah, exactly. Where they do the whole, even I thought when I went there, like last Halloween before the pandemic, the castle had.
They do
stuff on it.
Yeah, they do something called the, what was the bad guy's name? Forgive me, from Nightmare
Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, they do the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oogie Boogie.
At Disney, which is really cool. Yeah, it's crazy how I did not know that they didn't want to put their name behind it because they're definitely putting their name behind it now for sure.
Oh yeah. You could find those figures in the dollar bin or less for 99 cents when there was a what was it, KB Toys and
KB Toys. Wow, brought me back.
And so now you try to find some of them. You'll pay a good $100 to $200 for some of those figures.
Yeah, but I actually have a Jack and Sally figure on display right now.
Yeah.
Super dope. But yeah, so I mean, I meant to ask this earlier when you were talking about Spawn. I'm assuming you got some stuff signed. Todd McFarlane.
I've got quite a few things signed. I only have one thing signed by Todd that Todd signed for me. That was at the last con that we went to that he was at, and we were in line. I did a haul of the things that I got back, and it was the poster that they were using to promo when they opened the Batman Museum, the Comic-Con Museum in San Diego. I got in line for him to sign that. The other things that I have signed by him are things that I acquired from buying online and that type of stuff. But yeah, I got quite a few things that are signed by him.
Yeah, I forget which Comic-Con it was. Me and David got lucky and we got free tickets to meet him, and we got the 300th issue of Spawn signed.
It was at Comic-Con that came out, but I can't remember the affiliation, but remember the poster. I had it framed. It was a big poster everybody had, and he had where he was sitting at, he was just signing those posters, and he signed the poster that I had.
Yes, because me and David have the poster and the issue signed, I believe.
Yep. It was that Comic-Con 3 issue. That was the big deal. 300.
Yeah, that was a big.
And everybody early in the morning trying to get that issue. Freaking out.
Oh boy. So what would you say is your holy grail?
What I wouldn't part with in terms of statues, comics, or what? Like,
I guess in general. Like, so, what is the one thing that you would just, if like your house was burning down now, you would grab?
That I would have to say. So my best friend, his name is Jake. We've been friends for almost 27 years now, probably more. We met in the Air Force. He knew I was into this. One of the first people that like really encouraged me to do this type of stuff. And there was these small 6-inch figures that some glow in the dark of Universal Monsters. They're carded.
Oh, nice.
I could never find those things, and somehow he found them for me and gave them to me for my birthday. So probably that is what I would like. I got to go get those. Above anything else, I'd probably let these, like the 3rd scale statue, burn first. Because those things, just because of the sentimental value. And I mean, actually, they have a lot of monetary value now, but.
And I can see you carrying your Black Panther bust, like walking out.
Yeah, I might have that under my arm while I'm carrying the other stuff. So yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, that bust is just, man, that bust is sick.
Yeah, crazy. But so that brings me to my next question. What's your most valuable item as far as work?
Monetary things. Probably my Black Panther slab, because I think now I bought it before there was a movie, before any of that stuff, and I think I paid $300 for it. The grade that I have it in now, it's right at $8,000.
Wow, so it's at $8,000 for a 6 right now. That is crazy.
It's a comic. His first appearance.
Oh yeah, but still like a you know, a 6-point grade for people.
May I ask a rookie question?
Actually,
that's not the craziest grade.
It's 6'5". It's
6'5". Okay.
6'5", yeah. So
I want to ask a rookie question. What is a slab?
Oh yes, he does not know about the slabs.
Yeah. All right. So actually, I'll just grab this one too. But it's just like mint baseball cards.
Oh, it's in like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where you send it in, have it graded based on the condition.
Like when you grade it, it's slab.
Right.
I thought a slab was like a bust or like a slab, a piece of a.
Yeah, I just looked at that again. I don't know why I didn't know that, but that comic, it's actually not 6'5", it's 7'5".
Okay.
7'5". But yeah, you know, like, and you'll have, you know, a series where it tells you that when they slab it, they tell you like it's the first appearance of Gambit. Like this is a very controversial one in that CGC considers this to be the first appearance of Gambit, but it really isn't the actual first appearance of him. He was actually in an annual before that, so that's a contested thing, but that's a slab.
Awesome. Gotcha.
There you go.
There you go.
You guys got a lesson.
I actually can't believe you didn't know that with me and David.
Yeah. You guys never teach me.
Oh my god!
A slab is like it's like a piece of body, like a bust, as a head or something. A slab with some arms.
That's some dark shit.
Yeah. You guys been to San Diego? You have or you haven't?
No.
I've only been to California for Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
So are you guys?
I think we wanted to go, but then like COVID hit. I think it was maybe 2020ish or some shit. We were like kind of planning, sort of.
Yeah. So what is the plans? What are you guys' next plans? Where are you guys gonna be? What are you?
I don't know. Everywhere.
Man, I don't know.
I mean, Worm, you just came from something, right?
Yeah, I went to it was a little con in Queens that they did. But I mean, our next big thing here would probably be New York Comic Con and the Anime Con in Jacob Javits Center. I mean, we would love to go to San Diego.
Yeah, for real.
Like
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we would love to go to other states and start going to other cons and stuff, and hopefully, you know, being able to do more vlogs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Another con that has gotten super huge is in Florida, MegaCon. In Florida,
I heard of MegaCon.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think they look at several 100,000 people over the weekend. Wow. That it's
where in Florida?
It's in close to Orlando. It's right around that area, and it's in May. I think it's coming up pretty soon here. Usually it's in May. I'm not sure when it is, but that's a big.
Hey, that's my birthday month, man. We could go celebrate over there.
We should.
Yeah.
And I would love to go to Dragon Con too at some point.
Oh,
that's in Atlanta, so that's in my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dragon Con. Do you go to Dragon Con?
I have never been, man. And in fact, the place that I work at, I happen to be the boss. And I remember the first year that I took over the store that I work at, I looked at the schedule that October, and I'm like, why are all these people scheduled off? I mean, who's going to do this and do that? And it turns out that all 8 of them had scheduled themselves off to go to Dragon Con. And,
oh, wow.
Smart.
They made our weekend really hard that weekend. But that's another one that's on my bucket list that I want to go to.
Yeah, that's one I would love to go to. There's been times where me and David have worked together, and then we're like, well, we're gonna have to figure this out because we're both taking off all 4 days for New York Comic Con. So.
One day, no, we said one way or another we're not gonna be at work. Like it's just not gonna happen. That's like the one thing that we have to go to. But how many like cons and stuff do you normally go through a year?
So when I started first going, you know, and got the opportunity to go, I've gone every year to probably to 3 big ones. You know, I go to San Diego. I've gone every year that we were able to go, you know, until the pandemic. The same thing with New York Comic Con. And then I do a lot of the local stuff, which I think is really important. I go to a lot of local cons just to support that community. But But that's it. Yeah, Star Wars Celebration is going to be my first time. I'm going to D23 this year. That's going to be
a fun one.
Nice.
Yeah, I think is this year San Diego, D23, and New York. Planning to go to all those, and hopefully this year Figpen does another one of their own cons, and I'll be there.
Well, that's so crazy. I actually didn't know that they had a con for Figpen until you started talking about it. I'm like, damn.
It was the first one. It was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, that they came up with it. It's tickets. Just like a regular con. They had no idea how it was going to turn out. And oh my God, did it turn out? People came from Canada, New York, you name it. It was insane.
I think it was Comic-Con 2019 where me and David first really noticed Figpen and like how big it is. And we're seeing all these people walking around with these lanyards with all these pins. And we're like, whoa, this is cool. Then like, we always do all our exclusive shopping, and we're like, whoa, what are these exclusive Fig pins?
And then we started seeing the lines, and we're like, what the hell is going on?
What the who stood in line for the bait pins?
That was me.
So luckily at that time I was working in the Javits Center building. So you're
the one with the hookup he was talking about.
Yeah. So So basically what I did is when I got to work that morning, my store didn't open. I worked for a company within FedEx. I worked for FedEx within Jacob Javits Center. So before our store opened, I would just take my badge, show them, go into the thing, and I just waited online until he got in, and then I went back to the store. So
man,
it definitely worked out.
That was fire. We got a lot.
Yeah, and so just being even affiliated with Figpen meant nothing, or it did none of that. Because, no, you had to. I don't care who you were. You didn't get special privileges. Bait was, and that was actually a delayed release, by the way, because that release was supposed to come out a couple of years earlier, and I think it was because of COVID that canceled the previous cons, and then when New York came back with the limited con, Bait released those pens, but they were supposed to have been released prior to that.
Wow.
Yeah, Bait is always having the crazy lines every freaking year.
Yeah.
For anything that they release,
that we try and get done on the first day. Like we always try and do the hardest things the first day, so we don't have to stress ourselves the whole rest of the weekend.
Yeah, and then I gave it to you, and then I realized I have to go to that line again.
Yeah, and the footage that you guys put out for the con was really, I mean, it was sweet. It was smooth.
Oh, cool! Thank you so much, man. Yeah,
you guys put out some really good footage.
We were kicking ourselves, hoping it was okay and how it came out, and trying to figure that whole thing out.
Yeah, because that was actually our first time experimenting at a con with a podcast.
Yeah, I think I messaged one of you guys and asked what camera were you using to do that.
And, that was the cosplay video.
Yeah, and I think you said my iPhone or something.
Yeah, so for the cosplay video, we were filming all our stuff, and I was like, man, I always seen these cosplay videos on YouTube, and I was like, well, I got my phone while they're filming all this other stuff. I'm going to start filming cosplayers. So I took my iPhone 11 at the time, no tripod, no nothing, and just tried to keep a smooth, steady hand. And I just got a bunch of footage and I put that together. Literally, we left. I started editing it in the car on my phone. And
you did a great job capturing.
And then we put it, that's our most popular video to date, oddly enough, and it was on my phone.
How many views does that thing have now?
11,000 views now.
Yeah. The anime one too. Yeah, the anime con.
Crazy stuff.
No, that was a stroke of genius.
Like I said, you captured. I was there, and you captured the feel of being there. So you kind of hit all the points. Yeah. Whatever angle you were looking at, it came out really well.
Yeah, definitely gonna continue doing those cosplay videos. Yeah, I didn't know that was gonna hit like it did, but I guess you never know what's gonna hit till you put it out.
People like their cosplays.
So this is what I always ask towards the end. So what would your advice be to someone getting into collecting? Like, where would you steer them? How, what would you take?
Yeah, I answered it earlier, man. Collect what you like, not the hype. If you chase, just do not chase something because you're looking for it to go up or down in value. You've got to have some type of emotional connection to what you collect. Otherwise, you're just going to collect a bunch of crap, and it's not going to mean anything to you. So if you need to look at it two different ways, in my opinion. If you're collecting things because you're looking at the value of it, you need to look at it like a business, and you need to ride that wave up and down, whether the price goes up, it goes down, and be prepared for that scenario, emotionally, psychologically. But if you're going to get into collecting something, I don't think it matters what form it takes, whether it's a comic book or a statue or a pop. If it's something that you connect to, I think that's where you start. The other thing, practical thing that I learned is I have a budget every year on what I am going to spend on collectibles. Once that budget is hit, no matter what comes out, I'm screwed.
I think we should talk to our buddy up here, David. I think maybe you should help him out with that one.
Look, I got in trouble.
How do you spell budget, sir?
I got in trouble.
He gets in trouble all the time.
I look. So I've got things on order that are coming in. Like, I can't actually buy anything for like this past year. The things that I have now are things that I paid for before. But in terms of new stuff coming in, I have hit that budget for 2 years almost with one item that I have purchased. And so I can't really, like, unless I sell something or do something like that to get more funds, I'm done, man. I ended up ordering Prime One's Godzilla versus Kong diorama. That big, humongous.
Yeah, I know exactly.
5-foot thing.
So was that the one that was at New York Comic Con?
No.
Oh, okay.
That thing, I didn't like that at all.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
It wasn't
that.
that.
Was a different company. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about XM, and I should have said that way because I know those guys. But I didn't. You guys know you can edit whatever.
I mean,
but no, the Prime One that they did at their showcase and revealed, and the thing is $6,800 for the statue, and I am still thinking that maybe I made a
light.
You're still thinking that maybe what?
I made a mistake.
Light work. It's just a little bit of cash.
Sounded very shaky, your voice. Now you are a very brave person because you did something that we don't ever do on this channel. Whoops, sorry, I dropped that. Say the price.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you just do Google, you find out how much
Yeah, it's true.
See, me and David try to ignore that aspect and
but yeah, as far as advice, collect what you like and set a budget. If you have 600, 700, 800, I don't know what it is, disposable income, and that's what it is, set a budget. And then when you do that, I found that you are much pickier and much more thoughtful about what you decide to pick up and what you decide to get, because if you don't, you end up becoming this completist that has to get the complete set of everything that comes out, and there you have a problem.
This is true.
I think we're gonna have some side Zoom calls with you to give some coaching to David up here.
No, but that's only wisdom because I've suffered. I've suffered. I pay monthly for a storage unit right now.
I do too. It's too late for me.
So yeah, that's the advice, man.
Well,
God, man. Where were you like 5 years ago?
You guys are awesome, man. This has been a good time.
This was awesome, amazing, man.
Well,
definitely
everybody,
appreciate you on the show.
Oh yeah, we definitely do, man. And everybody, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Collect what you like. Set a budget. Don't be like David.
Don't be like. Don't make mistakes happen, man.
And if you are curious to check out Statue Fanatic's channel, we will have all the links and everything down below. Again, also, hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, and I will do likewise, man. I can't wait to share this with some people.
And yeah, this was an
this was
awesome
fun.
time. Thank you so much. Again, I'm sure we can talk about toys and collecting all night with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks again, man. And to everybody watching, thank you. And as always, may the force be with you. Peace out, everybody.
Later.
Take care.